Hello everybody, maybe you have already seen our first video on our website www.foggiato.it about this machine. The double cut machine, as many of you can know, is a machine that is able to cut and divide the double face fabric. It's very easy to use and actually is the only machine that is CE certified. Well, this machine during this year have been upgraded time by time, even under the information we received by our customer. I explain you this machine in the parts that is built up. The first part is the pedal. This pedal is obtained by some details that are chained to the protection of your safety. In fact, it has a button that allows you to press and have the rotation of the motor only if you want. It is possible to have an accidentally rotation of the motor. Here we have the control box that allows the motor to have the correct number of rotation of the spinning of the blade. And then we have the motor and the head of the machine. This is of course the heart of the machine that is composed by the blade, the deck, and the foot. The blade remains always on the same place. Just the deck and the feet move in order to have the perfect cutting and dividing of the fabric. In order to have a perfect division for the two change fabric, we can make a setup for this machine. How we can make it? First of all, you have to take a digital caliper that is supplied with the machine. It's very easy to use and allow you to have a perfect gauge about the thickness of the machine. You put the micrometer to 0 and then you take the gauge. You have just to allow it to slip in order to have a perfect gauge. In this case we have 1 millimeter and 4 parts of millimeter, but you can consider 1 millimeter. In this case you have just to turn the machine on. You have the rotation of this switch and this light turn on. Then, in this machine, you can see we have this clock that gives you the height of the foot, and this display who can give you the depth of the deck, or how high or low is the depth compared to the blade. Well, in this case, we have seen that the fabric is 1 millimeter wide, so it will be very easy for us to adjust the knob to have half millimeter. We can make some more, but I will explain about this. Half millimeter on the feet, and I close the knob, and the same with the under knob. This is the under knob, okay? But looking on the display, I can move and then I close or I open to make a perfect adjustment. Then I can show you here on the display. I can move it in order to reach the same size. In this case, 0.53, similar to the other one. Then we take the fabric and we begin to cut. It's very important to know that the rotation of the motor and the spinning of the blade will always remain at the same speed. This speed is fixed, and we suggest not to modify it, as we have made many tests in order to reach the most perfect speed for the blade. When I push the pedal, I put the fabric, and then I began to cut. Okay. Well, you can see that the cut is absolutely perfect. You don't see part of the brown fabric on the gray and the same of the gray on the brown. It's very simple to adjust. We can do another test, for example, with this fabric that is very similar for that about the goji. Here you are. In this case, when you see that the fabric doesn't split very free, you can just increase a little bit, just a little bit, the height of the foot in order to have a more comfortable slipping of the fabric. Well, as you well know, the fabrics of the double cut, of the double face, are chained together in different ways. Sometimes they're glued, sometimes with some hooks, like a Foggiato bat. The two fabrics are chained together. This means that maybe that you have to cut in this way from the right to the left, or maybe you have a better result cutting from the left to the right. This is the most important thing you have to know. In order to sharpen the blade, we suggested to make just if you really need. Why? Because the blade can last for many years without to be changed. But you have to be very careful during the sharpening. We have modified the old model of sharpener just to make it even more easier for our customer. Well, to sharpen the blade, you have just to turn the blade on, lock out this knob, and with a simple rotation, and then you close, you have sharpened the blade. But when you sharpen the blade, you have always to clean the blade with the second lever you have in the back, this one. in order to be sure that the dust of the fabric will not remain on the blade, on the edge of the blade. This is very, very important to have always a long-lasting blade and a perfect cutting. In order to replace the blade, is very simple. You have to take off these knobs. You have to turn down at maximum the deck in order to allow you to use this tool to go inside. Okay. You have with this tool to find the correct position in order to unscrew this screw. Very simple. By the way, when you have taken off the screw, with this magnet you can take off the blade to replace it. It's very simple, but of course we suggest first of all to be very careful in order to don't cut your finger. The best thing you can do is take a pair of gloves. Many times you can find in the market in your country even iron gloves that people use with the cutting machine, even more precise and more dangerous. Of course, in this case is not too dangerous, but be careful is a good idea. That's all I can tell you. If you need some more information, you have just to send us an email and we'll be glad to reply to you. Thank you very much.